Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video we are going to do a very simple thing, and that is to answer the question, is forex trading scam or legitimate, or halal for the Muslim brothers, or haram generally. So basically, forex trading, or we call it foreign exchange trading, it involves buying and selling currencies on foreign exchange market, so with the aim of making some profit on it. So there are reasons that people think that forex is scam based on their encounter, or halal, that is if it is permitted in Islamic culture. So it depends on several factors, and that is what we are going to look at here. So let's look at let's answer this question: is forex trading a scam? Or in other words, let us examine the forms of forex which makes it looks like scam. So let's start with checking the following. These are just my small notes to cover. So one thing that makes people think that forex is a scam is when they are using unregulated brokers. So why do I say so? Is because some brokers operate without proper regulation. These brokers then engage in some unethical practices. They also manipulate prices. They are not providing prompt trade execution, and they also refuse withdrawals. There are some unregulated brokers that have been fined so far, especially by the American government. So that is why people think that forex scam is a scam, because they were trading with unregulated brokers and therefore ran with their money, or failed to close their position they were trying to close and they couldn't close, etc. So that is reason number one. Reason number two is high leverage. Now forex trading involves high leverage, by the way, for you to trade, which can increase both your profit and losses at the same time. So this is not a problem, by the way. It can be attractive to many traders because it increases the profit margin, but at the same time the opposite is true. It increases the risks. You can Google, by the way, what leverage is. So if you are an experienced trader, just know that you may likely use big leverage, and therefore you'll be able to open positions that may end up blowing your account. So if somebody used 1,000 leverage, 500 leverage on a small account, you can literally blow that account within no minute. So the next reason is there are different forms of scam schemes that are orchestrated by proclaimed forex traders, and that is what other people may fall into and think that forex trading is a scam. So an example of them is Ponzi scheme, signal selling. Those people who sell signals that are not working. Signal selling is both somehow scammy, and sometimes it is okay if somebody is well profitable. And then another form of these scammy schemes is account management, whereby somebody tells you that I'm going to make you money. They promise you something that they cannot fulfill, and then at the end they scam you, especially with unregulated brokers, whom they are able to withdraw your money from the account, or the account they deposited, etc. So if you hear somebody guaranteeing returns, just try and run, especially if the returns are too good to be true, because they are, like, in other words, guaranteeing you fraud. So these schemes often in most occasions involve quick and high returns with minimal risk, which is generally unrealistic in the trading world. So be very keen on that. The last way in which forex may be viewed as scam is lack of knowledge. If you don't have education, if you don't have proper education, you are likely to fall a victim of claiming forex is a scam. So many people get into forex trading without the proper knowledge or understanding of the market. So in return, they encounter what is called poor decision making, and then losses after you've blown your account, now you start crying that forex is scam. Forex is not a scam. So in return, such kind of people will be going to spread the rumors that, oh, forex trading is scam, but in reality the losses you incurred was due to lack of your understanding of the market, or just poor strategy or flawed strategy. So generally you need to find ways to avoid falling victim of these fraud schemes. So how do you do that? So to avoid falling victim to forex related scams, I want you to take note of the following. Number one, I want you to be to trade only with regulated brokers. If you just come and check regulated brokers, you're going to find so many. In your own country you can check, but mostly I like using regulated brokers in other countries, like let's say UK. So you can just come and check. You will find so many regulated brokers, or use the one that your mentor is using. Most likely it is legit. So trading with regulated brokers who are generally adhering to the rules set by the financial authorities of that particular country is going to make you not to have poor trading conditions, which are going to lead to your losses etc, because they'll be profiting. Generally they profit from your losses because they be book us. If you want me to explain what be booking is, type in the description, in the comment section rather. The second way is be on the lookout, or in other words, be very skeptical of the promises that these online influencers and etc, they try to guarantee you, and then they say that it is having minimal risk. Be very wary of that, because you're going to fall into their schemes. The third option is educate yourself more. Why am I saying so? If you educate yourself about forex trading, you will have a better understanding of how the market moves. If you have a better understanding of how the market moves, you'll be able to control your losses and other risks involved. So you will not lose money and then come and claim that you are scammed. Then lastly, try to trade on demo account, or use the smallest account of money you are willing to lose. So if you use demo to practice, you will get the hint of how the market moves before you get yourself into the real trading world. So let's now help our Muslim brothers understand, or you generally understand, some of the biggest question, which is forex halal? So I'm going to approach it in 4 different ways. I've just researched them. Most of these things I've just researched them because I'm not a Muslim myself, though I know a little bit of Muslim. So generally it's all about the, is it permitted, is forex trading permitted in the Islam culture? So all this depends. It is a yes and no. It depends on how you are going to conduct that particular trading. So people have really been debating about it over time, whether it is halal or haram. So the one you're seeing your screen here, these 4 points here, are what depends on whether the kind of trading you are taking, you're undertaking, is deemed halal or haram. So the first one is the currency exchange. They call it Be'a al-Saf or something like that. If I'm butchering the pronunciation, you forgive me. So currency exchange is permissible in Islam, but certain conditions must be met for it to be considered halal. So for example, the exchange should be hand to hand. I'm still talking about the exchange. The currency exchange should be hand to hand, or we call it spot trading, meaning that both parties should take possession of exchanged currencies at the time of the contract, and it should be free of interest. They call it riba. Now another reason is to consider is spot trading versus forward contract. So generally spot forex trading is whereby currency are exchanged immediately. And this one is what they mostly consider halal, and only if it is done without interest. But forward contracts on the other hand, it involves speculations in future movements and is deemed unacceptable because they involve uncertainty, which the Muslim culture names garar or something, or harar, and delayed exchange, which contradicts the principles of Islam. So forward trading is prohibited, but spot trading is generally accepted. So another thing to consider is the leverage and the margin trading. So for the leverage, in the general forex, the forex we know, leverage is used to allow traders to borrow money, or leverage in other words is just money you borrow to trade, the money that is not yours, allowing traders to borrow money to increase their trading positions. So all brokers do this. This borrowed amount incurs interest, which is considered riba and is prohibited in the Islamic culture. So they don't want you to use leverage, and then they don't want you to use forward contracts. So some brokers, if you use some brokers which are regulated, they'll clearly say if this is an Islamic account or just a swap free account, which they always do have. So in such accounts, they do not charge interest, which is prohibited by the way in Islam. So this type of account, the Islamic account or the swap free accounts, those ones are always designed to comply with Islamic laws, so that they can be able to trade forex and permit it in the culture of Islam. So the last consideration is speculation and gambling. So generally forex sometimes can be considered gambling. The Muslim call it maisar or meisir, something like that, which is prohibited in Islam culture. So if you want to make it halal, you must do it purely free of speculation purposes. So you must have a sound understanding of the market, or without the intent to manage risk, without the intent to manage risk properly. So in that occasion, it may be considered gambling. So you have to be very keen. There is a very thin difference between speculation and gambling, which are all prohibited in Islam culture, and that is what it means. So generally, my final thought is that forex is legitimate in the society, especially for people, Christians other than Muslims. It is generally considered legitimate and a financial activity, but it is crucial for you to engage through regulated brokers and approach it with the caution, and then be well informed of the strategies you are using to avoid being scammed. And then on the Muslim culture, it is all about permissibility. Just be curious to know what is prohibited in Muslim culture and what is allowed, because forex trading can be considered halal or haram. It depends with the Islamic principles that they have put in place, so that you can adhere to such a principle, such as the spot trading without interest and avoiding excessive speculation. So traders, for especially the Muslims one, should always seek or find or use Islamic accounts and ensure that their trading practices align with the Sharia laws. Otherwise, it will be considered haram.